fun fact, in terms of the 1,000 customers that we work with today, so we work with over 1,000 customers and all the cases that are running through our system, guess how many of those cases are missing documents? 50%.
Welcome to the Tip the Scales podcast, where we discuss running and growing your law firm. I'm your host, Maria Monroy, president and co-founder of LawRank. Today, I am joined by Ray from EvenUp, and he has some really, really exciting news to share with us. I hope that you guys enjoy this episode. Ray, how do I pronounce your last name?
Mieszaniec.
Miss Sandwich?
No, it's Mieszaniec.
I can do Miss Sandwich.
Yeah, you can definitely use it. That's, I think, the default, the easier kind of way to pronounce it.
But how do you really pronounce it?
It's Mieszaniec.
Yeah, I'm not even going to attempt that. I think I didn't attempt it last time either, so...
Yeah, you just call me Ray.
Well, that's how I know you.
Yeah.
Somebody calls you Raymond. Is it Mitri or Alex? One of them calls you Raymond.
I think it might be Alex.
It is Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had him on the podcast the other day and he called you Raymond. I'm like, who's Raymond?
Raymond.
All right. So, well, welcome back, first of all.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome anytime. You're welcome anytime. Tell us what has happened since the last time we spoke.
Well,
Catch us up.
I think it's been a year since we last spoke, or the last time I was. I think it was 2
years ago.
No, we filmed last MTMP, was it? Or was it 2 years ago?
I think it was 2 years ago.
No.
Yes.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I was living in Mexico when we filmed.
Wow. Okay. So
maybe a year and a half, 2 years.
Since the last time appearing on the episode. So yeah, a lot has happened. So EvenUp has expanded quite a bit. One of the fastest growing tech companies or vertical SaaS companies in history. And just today, the day of this filming, we are officially a unicorn. So
what's a unicorn?
A unicorn is tech company worth over $1 billion. So we've crossed that $1 billion mark and still excited to continue building this business. But it's a achievement that I'm super, super, super proud of my team for having, basically gotten to this milestone, because it's something that, less than 1% of startups even make it to this point. Yeah. And so it's like truly a testament to the team, the product that we've built, the teams that have been out there working with the community.
Congrats.
Yeah.
You taught me what a unicorn was. Do you remember?
No.
Yeah.
But didn't you know what a unicorn was when you were like a kid?
Well, I knew that. My daughter still thinks they're real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bob was telling me, I'm trying to remember there's a different name for a unicorn with wings.
Oh, yes. It's Pegasus or something like that?
It's a different name. It's something corn.
Yes. Chloe, that's what she wants her birthday party to be. And I had to Google it because I was like, what is that? And it's a unicorn with wings.
Yep.
I can't remember the name, but you are right.
That is.
So is that when it's like worth $1 trillion, or when do you get?
That's exactly what Bob asked me. He's like, when are you going to be this kind of corn? And I was like, I don't know. That has wings. So that means, what does that mean? Like, metaphorically, yeah, we'll see in 1 year. Let's see what happens in the next year.
Well, you are the hardest working person that I know.
Thank you.
You always tell me it's not a competition, but you really are the hardest working person I know.
I don't know what to say to that. I appreciate the compliment, but.
Well, it's not really a compliment because I worry about you. I'm like, Ray, can you sleep?
Yeah.
Can you stop doing so many calls? Can we just chill? And you're like, no, I got to work.
It is. Right. It is painful and has been painful. So of course, I think, yeah, like obviously if I look back on it, I wouldn't change a single thing that, I had to do to kind of get us to this point in terms of all the time invested. I think I've for the past 2 years or so, over 200 days of travel each year.
That's crazy.
It's a lot. So.
Yeah, that's nuts. Now, ever since the last time we spoke, I feel like there are so many more businesses that utilize AI in the legal space. Would you agree?
Yeah, there's so many different AI companies popping up and such.
And before we address that though, you guys don't just do demands anymore, right?
No. So
talk to us. What do you do now?
Yeah, so we part of this announcement today. So of course there's the $1 billion, or over $1 billion valuation that we've achieved, but alongside that we released 4 new products.
Okay.
So if you think about where we've played and what the world knew us for prior to this. We were like the demand folks, right? Like we're the demand people or the medical chronology people. And if you think about where we play there, it's like there's intake, the client goes through treatment. When the client finishes their treatment, you gather all the bills, records, the documents, you send it over to EvenUp. We draft a kick-ass demand for you. And then during that process, we'll unearth all these insights for lawyers, basically insights that help like maximize the value of the claim or defend the value of the claim. So things like we'll flag missing bills, missing records. Hey, there's money on the table. You should go get that, right? Or we'll say, hey, there's a gap in treatment for 30 days or of 30 days that you're now going to have to defend against. And so these are things that are problematic. And obviously it's worthwhile for the lawyer to be, kind of like know this in advance and then be proactive in preparing their argument. But if you ask me if those insights presented to lawyers at that point in time is going to yield the most material impact in terms of increasing settlement value, I will say it's still not good enough.
Okay.
And so the products that we release today actually provide those very same kind of insights and more throughout the entire case lifecycle as early as day zero. So from the point of intake, what we've created is like a system, and we call this system claims intelligence. And this system is where as you upload raw records, bills, police reports, any documents around your case, even like chicken scratch notes from the doctor, we ingest that and our AI reads it and then surfaces insights as to what's going on in your case in real time. And so essentially what it's doing is it's exposing the levers, all the levers that you need to pull to maximize the value of the claim before the demand is even written. And so that's one of the pieces. There's also negotiation tools that we've created to help lawyers just be even more badass within their negotiations against adjusters and just move seamlessly with clarity and decisiveness within those calls. And then, of course, one of the last kind of pieces, there's an executive kind of analytics dashboard. So showcasing to firms operational metrics that currently their CRMs, no matter how they build it, it doesn't capture these metrics. So these metrics are...
So can you give me an example?
Yeah. So for example, one of the metrics that we unearth is just like how many missing documents are we seeing across your cases? Or how many of your cases, what percentage of your cases have a treatment gap of over 30 days? And the reason why I keep honing in on this 30 days piece is because when we've done our analysis, a treatment gap of over 30 days severely impacts the lawyer's ability to settle for policy limits. And so it really hurts the claim, obviously, if we've let the treatment gap get that large. But that said, we unearth all of these insights where it shows you how much of this is going on in, kind of each one of these dimensions across your firm, so that like, oh my gosh, like we have a missing docs problem. There's a lot of money that might be left on the table. Fun fact, like in terms of the 1,000 customers that we work with today, so we work with over 1,000 customers and all the cases that are running through our system, guess how many of those cases are missing documents? I'm
all
curious.
Of them?
All of them? I mean, all of them is super extreme, but it's not too far off. 1 in every 2 cases. So half of the cases.
50%.
Yeah, 50%. And in terms of like the treatment gaps, the reason why we're kind of honing in on that as being such a big problem and something that we want to try and mitigate sooner is because we see that across all those cases, 17% of cases have a treatment gap of over 30 days. Meaning law firms don't have an ability to see like this happening or occurring in real time in any way to kind of prevent that. They only know it after the fact, right?
Yeah.
And so this is something that we're trying to change and reimagine within the space.
Yeah. I mean, all I can think of is just like the word data. Like you guys have access to so much data now, and you're giving firms the ability to have, how do I say this, like visibility on their data, which is like, it's really so important. Like you can make so many decisions just based on, like most decisions should be based on data.
Right.
But I mean, how are you getting firms to actually implement all this? Because what I have found is that firms struggle to even implement something like lead docket, right? Like when we talk to firms and we're like, okay, how many cases are you generating? What sources are they coming from? 8 out of 10 times, 4 out of 5 times, they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
They have no idea. And they guess. So their data is very subjective and it's not really data. It's like, oh, this is how it feels. And I'm like, well, no, you have to track this. So if we can't get them to track attribution, how are you getting them to give a shit about all these other data points?
There's so many things that I want to say on that. I think the first thing is like, right now, the reason why a lot of firms don't track that or can't track that as accurately, they can't give you like a confident response in terms of what's happening or here or there, like especially like in intake and such, is because, currently the systems that exist today, when we're talking about like CRMs or any of these like lead gen or like intake platforms,
right? Which would be like a CRM, yeah.
They're like CRMs, right? They're systems of record.
Yeah.
A lot of these systems rely on the law firm to set up the appropriate fields and the structure.
And to mark it off and ask the client how they found them.
Correct. So then it requires first the firms to kind of build out that system that's going to accurately track everything over time. And then second, it requires the firm to accurately input the information into the correct fields in the right way so that it reports the correct insights or reports out, at the end of the day that I can take action on or I can make decisions off of. And that's such a laborious task for law firms where it's like, that's where things are kind of falling through the cracks. Cause like there's a lot of law firms that are like, I don't know how to build this system properly. And like, the folks that they have kind of like working on building those systems, they're doing their absolute best, but it's not convenient. And so what we're offering is a system where it doesn't require the inputs from the human to get the output that you're looking for, the insight that you're looking for.
It's just there, and they just have to go and look at it.
Dump the documents on us, and then we unearth the insights, and you focus on taking action. Right. And so I kind of called those systems earlier, like the system of record. Like that's what the CRM is, right? We're plugging in all this information to be our system of record. What we are doing now is we're not only being like a kind of like an aid to that system of record, but we are the system of work. That is what we're creating. And that's what we're kind of reimagining that this space needs.
Okay. So last time we spoke, I know that like one of the things that you guys were working towards was having so many case data, right? That you guys could predict this is what the case is worth, right? Like this is what you should ask. Now that, since the last time we spoke, you've probably have like, I don't even know how many cases do you have access to now?
Yeah, no, I mean, tons with all the firms working with us and putting like, we see thousands of cases a week, right?
So are you able to give that to them?
So actually that's part of our 4 platforms that we release. Mm-hmm. So we actually released the settlement repository. Okay. So the settlement repository is the system that basically takes all of the settlement data that the law firm is sitting on and cleans up all that information and essentially unlocks the power living within those historical settlements. So for example, so we make it searchable, right? Like we make this a searchable system where you can look up similar cases and kind of see based on your historical cases, what this case you're working on can settle for. And you can see different estimates and ranges. You can look at it, do different cuts for like policy limits and stuff. You can filter down to things that matter in terms of settlement value. So like the venue, like county,
but it doesn't do it for you. It doesn't just like spit you out a number. Like you're going to write this demand. You have this information. It's not to the point where it says, based on all of our data points, this is what we think this should settle for.
It will give you a value. So it does give you a value, but then you are still in the driver's seat of putting the right filters to narrow down the scope of cases to the ones that are most similar to yours.
So it doesn't narrow it yet by itself.
It does. But like by itself, no. So like, of course, future state, maybe we, based on the documents we've ingested on your case and we read through everything, we're like, we looked through every nook and cranny. Here are the most similar cases based off of everything that we've seen, right? Okay. Still, the lawyer should probably check that and everything like that. Yeah. But we still, in terms of allowing you to search for comparable cases, right now we put you in the driver's seat of being able to tweak those filters so you can see, oh, like, we're going up against Geico. So you can select that insurer and see the settlements for Geico. Whereas like in that example we were just talking about, like in the future, maybe we read Geico in the documents,
Right.
And then we're like, okay, well, we're automatically going to kind of skip that step.
Got it. Now, circling back to all of the AI companies that have entered the space, is all AI created equal?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
Yeah. So there's this, it's interesting because like when ChatGPT came out, it did actually give people a lot of like powerful tools that they can use on their own. And a lot of the tools that are popping up in the space today, especially with like companies like ours growing and succeeding, we do see a lot of different AI companies coming after, like, I've seen like millions of AI demand companies at this point, right? But what those companies are doing that's different from us is they are simply plugging into ChatGPT or plugging into some LLM where the output that you're getting from those platforms, and they promise you like this, why wait like, hours or days for a demand, get it in seconds, right? Like that's their value prop. It's like, get it fast, get it cheap. And the output that people don't understand is it's merely what you would have gotten if you just used ChatGPT yourself and threw all your documents into ChatGPT and said, prompted it to like create a demand based off of like your certain instructions.
So basically you guys have molded your AI specifically for demands versus just a general open AI type of thing, right?
Correct.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So like with the ChatGPT stuff, you have to understand that the ChatGPT learns off of everything that's available on the web, right? ChatGPT does not have a whole repository of contextual data around like what do good demands look like, how to read medical records and bills and police reports and all of that stuff. So it doesn't have that within its brain to even understand how to perform the task at hand. And so in terms of, the contextual understanding to perform these specialized tasks, it doesn't have the data in its brain. But the second piece is all of these LLMs, and this is not even talking about like this is a Ray stat. This is like AI researchers that are way smarter than me and us, like that are putting these numbers out there. All of these LLMs are like 60% accurate at best for any task that you ask it to do.
Well, so one of my things with like ChatGPT, like if I ask it a question that it doesn't know the answer, it'll make up an answer.
Right.
So it hallucinates. And like, how do you guys deal with that?
So yeah, the way that ChatGPT works is it's actually, that's by design. ChatGPT is created to respond to any question that you ask
why wouldn't it
in the
just
most confident way.
I don't know.
It's just not within its programming to do that.
But that's silly because you could think that you're getting like correct information, but it just simply doesn't know.
Correct. That's where it makes things up. And so like, for example, with us, we have a closed data set in terms of what we're teaching our models to work off of and what information they're drawing from to basically perform these tasks at hand. So like we actually use a different brain. Like we actually also announced this today. It's called PIA. It's spelled PIAI, but it's EvenUp's official AI, like our own AI that we release to the world. That
cute.
Is the most accurate personal injury AI that is out there.
I like the name.
And so yeah, PIA. Yeah. So PIA has been trained on, thousands and thousands of pages of medical records, police reports, doctors' notes, all sorts of stuff, witness statements, all sorts of data that has been fed into PIA's brain.
That's really
cool. And
cool.
now PIA uses that knowledge to perform these tasks at hand for the law firms. And of course, PIA was not just trained by feeding it data. PIA was also trained by having humans in the loop. So we, of course, if you remember from our last episode, like how we produce our demands, it's not just all AI that kind of throws a result out there. We have humans in the loop, like subject matter experts that, review everything for quality assurance and accuracy. And so at any time in the past 4 years where there was like the AI was wrong or it missed something, like it was reading a medical record and let's say there was 3 invasive treatments, but then it only found 2. We always had humans in the background making sure that they catch that and they act as a good parent to the AI and say, hey, you missed this.
They retrain it, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm teaching you to find this next time. And so
is the rumor that you guys don't have AI and it's all humans, this is where it's coming from, huh?
Yeah. I've
heard that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've heard the crazy, there's so many things. It's like, EvenUp is fake AI. They use humans, and like EvenUp has like paralegal farms and stuff. And at the end of the day, it's like anybody who's not using humans in the loop in this AI development, especially for the legal space, I think they're doing a disservice to this audience. Because who is this audience? These are legal practitioners who are relying on the most accurate and high quality information to advocate on behalf of their clients. And so even though we see thousands and thousands of cases a week, the law firm may see hundreds and hundreds of cases a week, to somebody, this is their only case, right? This is somebody's only case at the end of the day. And so to not take that responsibility seriously in terms of providing the highest quality, most accurate result for the lawyer to advocate on behalf of that person, that is a disservice. That's you not taking that responsibility seriously. And so this is a game where the reps matter, and EvenUp does not skip leg day.
Got it. I love that. Okay, so let's switch gears a little bit and let's talk about what has it been like for you personally. How many employees do you guys have now?
Like 400 plus now.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
I remember when you were like, we have 300.
Yeah.
That was like this year at some point. I think that was January.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So what has it been like for you to take a startup to this point? For you personally, I know you have co-founders and team members, but I just want to hear from you. Like, what have you learned? What have been some pain points for you?
Yeah. I mean, big learning is just making sure that you have the right people around you. So like, I'm super grateful for my co-founders, which you actually got to meet yesterday.
I was drunk. That was probably not the best time to meet your co-founders.
I didn't think you were drunk.
Really?
Yeah. But
that's good. Well, I had 2 glasses of wine. That was it. So drunk is like probably an exaggeration.
So you met them, but I'm super grateful for my co-founders kind of being my supports throughout this journey, and all of our leadership team. But it really does matter that you have the right kind of leaders in place, or the team around you as your first team to kind of work with you through these challenges. Now, I'll admit, like I'm very like smiley, and I'll be like, everything is great and awesome. And everyone thinks like, this maybe looks really easy based off of like Instagram videos and stuff like that.
But you're crying at home.
But yeah, this journey has been like this past 9 months have been the darkest moments of my life. It's like, being on the road that much, again, like trending over 200 days. And then also like dealing with so many problems, like every single quarter. We have a new company with new problems. Basically, we evolve into a brand new company every quarter.
And you're the face of the company.
Yeah. And
so I assume everyone reaches out to you when they have a problem, or at least a lot of people do.
A lot of folks reach out to me. And so
how do you handle that?
I mean,
do you just escalate, or do they want you to handle it?
A lot of the time, there are folks that it's super interesting because we've grown so fast. Like we went from like 0 to over 1,000 customers, right? Like 1,000 firms in the country in the span of 3 years.
That's nuts.
And so if you think about that, like how quickly we did that, and like the last time you saw Ray, maybe we were at like 500 customers, and the next time you see Ray, we're at 1,000 law firms. Which law firms multiplied by the attorneys that exist within those law firms, I see a lot of faces. And I've come into some encounters where it's like, people will get mad when I'm not personally solving a problem.
Like when you got mad at me when I didn't recognize you, like that?
That never happened. That never happened.
That happened.
That did not happen.
We need to tell that story.
No.
We'll circle back to, did we tell it last time?
I think we did. But yeah, we could always circle back. We can always keep that.
We already told it. We
keep
don't
that memory alive. But
I want you to remember what it's like when Maria didn't like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. That's good.
So you have a threat there that it could happen again.
It could happen
So you
again.
have to,
Never want to go back to that.
yeah. So you have to be on your best behavior.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right. Sorry. Keep going.
No, I was just saying, like, it's been tough. And so it's really crazy because the main thing that I've learned is like some of the things that make me great as a person and like makes me a powerful person end up being your greatest enemy.
Give me an example.
So my love for people. So my love for people, I always want to do right by people. I always want to be the one to help them. And I want to help people get to wherever they want to be in life. I want to help people to help them become who it is they want to be in life. So if anybody who is like interviewed by me at our company, I always ask the same question, like, who do you want to be in this world? I ask them that, like, who do you want to become? And what's crazy is I want to invest in these folks and be part of their growth. But there have been many challenging times where sometimes we have to make decisions where it's like, I mean, holding people to a high degree of accountability, where it's like, if we're failing as a business on any dimension, and like I kind of zero in on the folks who are accountable for that process, it's like I have to be really, really hard on them. And what's hard for me is like, I'm all about like love and care and like, I want to nurture them. But then like, sometimes like some people can't grow fast enough to be who they need to be for the next milestone of growth. Right. And so that's where I've had to make decisions of like, wow, like as we're growing at this hyper growth rate, we may need to actually bring in a new person that is the right fit for this level of growth because we don't know what the heck we're doing. And so we need to find somebody who does.
Yeah.
And that's hard to come to terms with for some folks who hear that kind of feedback where they're like, but I'm the one. And it's like, you know, you could be the one if you can grow faster than
EvenUp is growing.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's tough. It's, what's that book called? What got you here won't get you there.
Yeah, I haven't read that.
Yeah.
Is it good?
I haven't read it either, but someone gifted it to me. But that's where it's going.
That's a book we should read.
Yes, my husband read it though, and he was like blown away.
No, that's good.
So back to on this personal side, how many direct reports do you have?
I haven't counted lately, but I've been paring it down. So I'm very, very fortunate to have like, I mean, if we were to talk about like 2 months ago or 2.5 months ago, I had a lot of direct reports, like way too many that it was killing me. But then recently we've got amazing leaders in seat. So we actually have a marketing leader that joined us. He was actually a former CMO of Gong, a really, really fast growing tech company, and also like VP of marketing at Samsara. So badass in his own respect. We also have an amazing sales leader that's actually here at the conference. I would love for you to meet her. But
awesome.
She was the VP. Oh, what was that?
Just kidding. I would never do that to you.
She was the VP of sales at Toast. And so, you know, she grew that business to like $1 billion in revenue, annual recurring revenue in like, 6-7 years or so.
And as like this whole conversation, sorry to interrupt you. This whole conversation is going on. All I can think of is like, when are you going to slow down and like enjoy life a little? Like, are you stopping to smell the roses, or are you going to wait for like a knock on wood health issue to kind of center you a little bit?
Oof. I think I'm observing some health issues, to be honest, where I'm like, I can't keep.
You're young. How old are you?
I'm 32.
You're 32, but you look 22.
Yeah. So that's good.
I'm
the Asian genes.
People take you serious. I didn't take you seriously.
No, you didn't. You didn't.
Let's not go there. This is a sore subject.
But I'm breaking right now, and I can see it, and I've been investing a lot in terms of trying to take better care of myself in terms of like making sure I get enough sleep, even though it's not happening, but I'm trying.
Why? Do you just wake up like super anxious?
So here's a fun fact. I tend to, when I'm on the road, those are more likely the times where I actually sleep in a bed versus when I'm at home, I'm so exhausted. I pass out anywhere it is,
Really?
whether it's on the floor, because I'll lay in random places. Like I'll lay on the floor, I'll lay on the couch,
So you pull
and
a
I just
Mauro.
pass out. Yeah.
You pull a Mauro.
I pull a Mauro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have you send me pictures and videos of this.
Absolutely. Yes,
Yeah.
it's true. It's real stuff. I fall asleep in weird positions, and it's just, so that's something I want to, obviously fix. But when will I stop? This is hard. Like obviously I am taking a lot more time to invest back in myself and give myself what I need. But when I imagined that we would reach this status, this like $1 billion unicorn status, in my mind, I imagined a whole different, like we looked a whole lot like that. We were more developed, had more going on. We were much further in my mind. And when I'm realizing now that we've hit this status, I'm like, holy crap, we're just getting started. Like there is,
You're
like,
addicted to it though. You're so addicted.
This is crazy. Like I can't, like it's like I can't finish, like I haven't finished the job. And so like I can't quit right now because now we get to do this. Like this is like,
Totally.
I actually just wrote this message to my team, but it's like we've achieved this status, which number one, I'm super grateful that we get to do this.
Right.
Many startups like would wish to be in this this position,
Dude,
and have this opportunity.
Yeah, a fifth of what you have. I mean,
Yeah.
So many people would, yeah.
And so like I don't want to take that for granted. I want to make sure that we capitalize on this opportunity and do the best job we can to build the best company that this world has ever seen. That's simply it. Like we have that opportunity, and I don't know how many times those opportunities come about people's lives, but I'm going to treat this like my only one, and I'm going to make sure that it's done well. That's it.
And when would you take a break? When would you slow down? Because I feel like there's always going to be more. Like you just want to like take over the world.
No, but I think there'll always be more. And I think naturally, like you probably feel this, like Bob feels this way. Like I talk with Bob Simon, a lot about this.
Everyone knows who
it's
Bob is.
Like we talk about how if we were to take a break, if we were to take a vacation, like would we be itching to do something else? Like if we were to take a sabbatical, like could we actually be doing nothing for more than a week? Probably not.
But I do think, and I've said this before, so this is not about you, this is about me. I do think that there's like a fear of the silence. Like what happens if I just like slow down? Like what demons will come up? Because this addiction to like the go, 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 and like that feeling of like, even if I took a sabbatical, like what the fuck would I do with myself? Like I don't think that that's healthy.
Yeah.
I think it's like whatever childhood trauma like helps us in a way. Like it helps us be successful in like, work and maybe monetarily. But like, I don't know that it's necessarily like good for our soul, if that makes any sense.
No, probably. I mean, I think that's where, actually just to give you some, peace of mind in terms of like, your friend is going to be taken care of, but like I am planning a trip to Rome, so I'm going to Rome.
But are you going to work the whole time? Like last time you took a trip, you worked the whole time.
I'm doing 10 days. I've learned from that trip, and that was a painful trip. Like that was the last trip that I had, and I went to like Switzerland and stuff. And only Bob and Mauro know like how 90% of that trip I was actually working instead of enjoying. And
I knew that.
But the Instagram post that we put, it was like it was us having fun, but it's like that was not representative of the entire stay, right? But like, I learned from that trip that it's like, look, I need to be able to get away. And I also want to be able to get away for 10 days.
And let your
so
team.
that the team can see that, like, by example, that like you do need to take the time to recharge.
Well, not only that, let them like shine without you for 10 days. Like, it's not going to kill you.
Oh, yeah. Like, it's a big problem if I can't leave for 10 days.
Exactly.
Right? Like, so that's the thing. I think we're in a place where that can definitely happen. If anything, it's just more so I need to be comfortable stepping away for those 10 days. And I think I am. I do really trust the team. I'm going October 31st.
Oh, wow.
Very soon.
So like, are you going from TLU there?
I think after Mardi Gras.
Oh, sorry. Am I
After Mardi
confusing
Gras.
them? I am
Mardi
confusing them.
Gras.
Sorry, last time TLU was during.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm confusing.
TLU
So
is
you're
coming
going
up.
from Mardi Gras basically there.
Pretty much right after Mardi Gras.
Cool. I'm jealous. Eat
Yeah.
all the pasta for me.
We're going to do Rome, Florence, and then Sorrento. So if anybody has recommendations, or if you have recommendations,
I do.
let me know.
I will send them to you. Very cool. Anything else you want to share with us today?
I don't know. No, I'm
That was good. That was it.
pretty
We go
blank.
quick.
Yeah.
You and I just we talked about so much. It's only been 30 minutes.
It's just a conversation between me two. Really,
Yeah, that's
all.
true.
It's just like, this is a normal conversation.
I think it always goes better when I know the person that I'm interviewing. I think that makes all the difference.
I mean, I didn't know if you studied on anything, of what we announced, but when you were like, oh, the settlement data and stuff.
No,
you're collecting
I didn't.
I was like, oh shit, that's a really good question, because that's also what we released today. So
No. I just remember from our prior conversation.
She listens.
So I do listen.
She listens.
I listen to the people that I care about.
Yeah. So how do we wrap up this episode?
Just say peace.
Peace.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having me on the show, and
thank you for coming, and congrats again. That you should be really, really proud, and the way that you should celebrate is by taking that 10 days, no work.
Thank you for being a great supporter of us, and then thank anyone who is even taking the time to listen to this this
I'm
story
sorry,
here.
no one listens to my podcast.
No one listens?
No, you didn't know?
If anybody is listening, if anybody is out there, thank you for listening, and thank you for supporting. If you've been rooting for EvenUp along this journey, really appreciate it. Wouldn't be here without you.
Thank you so much to Ray for everything he shared with us today. If you found the story valuable, please share it with someone you want to see succeed. Subscribe so you never miss an episode, and leave a 5-star review. It goes a long way to help others discover the show.